Okay, I just got out of Project Hail Mary, aka the Crying About a Rock for 2 hours movie. And I cannot wait to talk about it. Oh my god.
I think you can hear the sound of the dancing Grove fountains. I just got out of Project Hail Mary, and it was so cute. It was so cute. That's the main thing I have to say. I was hoping they'd end up together forever, and they did, and it was so cute. Welcome to Medium Literate, the podcast where two longtime best friends try to sharpen our media literacy skills by having a long conversation about a new release movie in theaters every week. I'm Emily Faye, and my co-host is Monika Scott, and this week we are talking about Project Hail Mary. All spoilers from this point, so if you haven't seen it, maybe you want to come back later. And if you are just listening, you can also watch the full episode on YouTube. So here's our conversation. We're here. We got a little baby cat in the background.
Oh my god, cameo.
Baby cat.
um, uh, well, I am so excited to talk about this movie.
I know. I didn't realize how passionate you were about this source material.
You mean this one? This one right here?
The very one.
You know, yeah, I read it last year. And I'm not that fast of a reader. It takes me like a month probably to get through a book. And I read it in like 4 days. And it's, 500 pages. And I got to be honest, a lot of them are of people doing math.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I'm impressed, but I've never read The Martian. So I wasn't really familiar with Andy Weir's game, I guess. But his characters, I guess he's known for like characters that are so, it's like fun to be with them. So you're like fully in their perspective, and just the patter of their internal monologue is like fun to read. And I've heard the audiobook is like a really good time. I've never listened to it, but I honestly might. After seeing the movie twice, reading the book once, I think I should add to that pile.
Might as well.
But yeah, I don't know. This story is not necessarily like, I'm a kind of cynical person, which I'm not proud of. I try not to be, but I am. And this is a very hope core story.
Yes.
And yet, it works for me. I love it so much. And I think maybe that's where my passion comes from, is like a lot of hopeful pieces of media don't break through to me, and this one does.
Uh-huh.
So I think that's where my passion came from.
I had no expectation. Like, I wasn't even looking forward to this movie because
Yeah.
I just don't really like space stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know, it just didn't seem like my kind of thing. And I loved it.
We did it.
I might see it again tonight.
We did it. We got her.
I was surprised, but I loved it, and I found myself thinking about it even more the next day, where I was like, gosh, I really loved this movie.
I really loved this movie. And it's funny, I have felt a little cautious about overhyping it to people like you in my life who don't like love a sci-fi. Because upon a second viewing, I saw it twice this week. I saw it on Thursday in IMAX.
I also
And
saw it
then
Thursday in IMAX.
and it was great in IMAX, but I had a friend who is like a format person, and she was
Uh-huh.
like, "Do you want to see this in 70 at the Music Box Theater?" And I was like, "Okay." So I went again on Saturday morning at 11 a.m.
I do feel like that's actually the perfect time to see like a 2.5 hour movie, though. You get out. It's
Yeah.
still daytime.
You know what was funny is just in Chicago, so when I went into the movie at 11 a.m., it was like 39 degrees and cloudy. And when I came out, it was 70 and sunny.
You were
And
like, the
so
movie did that.
coming outside, like it was like it's an old movie theater. So you're just like, there's no sort of like easing into seeing windows and like getting used to the outside. So you just are like dark movie theater to being outside. And everybody that was coming outside was like, oh my God, just kind of hissing at the sun. um, but yeah, I mean, I loved seeing it in 70. Um, I just loved it. I just love it so much. I will have some smart thoughts shortly.
I had no expectations. I knew that there was a little guy in it. So I did
Yeah.
know that there was a little guy involved, and I always like a little guy. But I was surprised at how much those two and their friendship swept me off my feet.
I know.
They got my ass.
You know, I have to say that I had the same experience with the book. When the little guy shows up in the book, it's only like six chapters in or something. So it's early enough that you're like, oh, okay.
Okay, this is a
This
little
is,
guy book.
but like I had seen the movie of The Martian, so I knew it was like a relatively straightforward, serious science
Hmm.
movie. You know what I mean? And so I feel like a little guy is a bit of a fantastical element, even though, it is done with a lot of intention towards like I've listened to interviews with Andy Weir where he's like, if we were to encounter aliens, if you think about what another civilization would have to do to get to space travel, they'd have to be they'd have to have like an inclination to be pack animals because they'd have to have a certain level of empathy for other people, and they'd have to be able to work together because you can't get to intergalactic travel if you are like a society that is like individualistic, and they'd have to have a certain amount of empathy and curiosity. And so he's like, all of this evidence to me points towards a first encounter with aliens would actually be positive and like friendly. And that is sort of the thought process that went into like the friendly rock alien. And but when he shows up in the book, I was like, oh, this is like, what is this?
Yeah.
Like I had kind of gotten the book thinking like I was going to challenge myself with like a science fiction that's like more serious, because I don't usually
Right.
read them because I get confused. Not to sound like too much of a genius, but and then a little buddy shows up, and so I was like really hesitant like in the first few chapters of Rocky, but it's so charming that it
Like,
swept me off my feet too.
he's such a good character. And I really love that, like, aesthetically, and I'm sure they describe him in the book or whatever, but like, he's not cute to look at. Like, it's like, just like in, as an object. You're
No, he's a
not
rock.
like,
He's a
right,
rock
you're
spider with
not
no
like,
face.
oh, cute. And but it's like his personality makes him so cute.
Yeah. And I mean, so for I think for any like book readers, that was like the big fear when when like people heard that this movie was getting made, because in the book you don't he's not described too deeply. Like you get the idea. You're kind of picturing what they ended up making. But you hear that this movie's getting made and you're like, they better get Rocky right or the entire movie doesn't work.
Right.
So like the pressure was really on to do something incredibly challenging because this is a rock. The body language is like essentially the entire communication of the sweetness of this character,
Yeah.
and it's incredible. I
Like
mean, it's amazing.
it's because the trailer for like something I will truly never see, Mandalorian and Grogu,
Yeah.
plays before it, and you're like, okay, yeah, with like Grogu, they just have he's cute. He looks like a baby.
They
That's
gave him
e-
baby
yeah,
features.
so it's like easy to make a cute little alien that looks like a baby, which also, I'm not going to get into this, but Grogu came out after they named him. There's a baby alien on American Dad named Rogu,
Uh,
and they
Oh, I
named
didn't know about this drama.
and I don't know if this is drama. It's just something I think about a lot that Grogu came out post Rogu, and Rogu also is like a little weird baby alien. Anyways, Grogu's like cute. He looks like a baby. And so, yeah, Rocky's just like ugly. But not even like
Yeah.
cute. He just looks like something that would not get your
He looks like a piece of landscape.
it's not something that would inspire affection aesthetically.
Yeah. Or even like evolutionarily, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I think that we have a strong capacity to, as humans, to anthropomorphize anything that kind of has a face. And so to have Rocky be something that truly has no face,
Yeah. That's tough.
it's it's tough. And I'm so just like awed by I wore my puppet shirt today out of pure enthusiasm for the choice to make Rocky a puppet as opposed to CGI, which I think would have
Yeah.
been the choice in basically any other movie.
No, it's amazing. Like it's amazing. I I think that even with the best CGI, like this is probably why this movie works so well and does
Yes.
is so touching despite, being
Yeah.
someone who yeah, is cynical. But like there's just a vibe of that like that thing is actually there.
Yeah. And, I thought a lot about the choice of making it a puppet and how that I don't know what came first for the directors, Lord and Miller, right? Like practical sets or the puppet, but one certainly feeds into the other. And the choice to have Ryan Gosling able to act against a puppet, act against something real that isn't a tennis ball, then feeds into like, and if all these sets are real and then the puppet is interacting with the sets and he can interact with that, I just think like the practical effect choice that the entire movie made like echoes almost the message of the story where it's like prioritizing humanity over anything else, and it feeds itself. Like this movie feels so human made. Even that scene, I saw an interview with Lord and Miller where they were talking about the scene where the astrophage, it's like red and black and the astrophage is like hitting him. I thought for sure that one was CGI, and that is a practical effect.
That's yeah, because I saw people saying that there were like zero green or blue screens used,
Yeah.
which is insane. I feel like even if someone didn't think this movie was good, how could you not be rooting for a big budget movie made in 2026 that's entirely practical effects?
Yeah, because then it makes it so that the practical effects, like they're not just stylistic, it's like a philosophical point that the whole
Yeah.
movie is making. And it's just so incredible. So they had the same cinematographer as the Dune movies, I think.
Oh, okay.
And
The Dune
so
movies look great.
the Dune movies look great, but
I
one of the
love the
things
Dune
is
movies.
the infrared cameras that they use in the Dune movies for like the Harkonnen stuff. That's how they did those red lights. They put like little IR like bulbs all around him, all around Ryan. And in the room, it didn't look like anything, but in the camera, you could see these like beautiful light circles all around
That's
him.
so crazy.
And I just am like almost gonna cry. I just love it so much. It just makes me so excited.
Because it's also like it's so nice that like for I feel like we are in a crisis of people not having to like figure things out anymore. And
Yes.
so the idea that like all these things people had to figure out how to do that and make it
Yeah.
work is so amazing.
And again, it's like even that is like echoing what is fun about the movie because I think that like in a lot of ways the movie has like a procedural vibe. It's like clever people solving problems or clever entities. One is a rock. Um and that's essentially what was happening in the filmmaking. And I don't know, it just feels very beautiful that like it, that all of that ended up being such a well executed adaptation, which is borderline impossible. It's just so hard to have an adaptation that people are happy with. And I'm sure there are some pedantic people who are mad that, some of the math didn't make it in or whatever. But I just think like overall, for the health of movies, for the health of like human ingenuity, there's just something so positive about the whole experience of this weekend and this movie and its success and how it made everyone feel. Yeah, I'm really riding high on the hope bomb that that movie detonated.
It's just so nice to have something where like movies are they're not a necessity for survival. It is like an art. And so then when something is like Marvel movies where it truly does feel like it's like I also just hate those. But it feels like that whole industry is like okay, how can we just do this as easily as possible to get to the end point? Like
Yeah.
it's all about just like we just got to finish this thing. So to have something where it's like no, the artistry of it is the point
Yeah.
is so great.
Yeah. And yeah, and I can really feel it and it makes me so happy. We got a
Yeah.
little rock guy and I feel like he's better than ET.
Oh my God, he's so much better than E.T. because E.T.'s kind of like, he's not very smart.
No, and he's slimy. It's an
Is he
issue.
slimy?
Yeah, I think of ET as slimy.
Interesting. I think of him as like bone dry. Dry as can be. I want to slather him in moisturizer.
Do I need to see a picture of
In
ET?
fact,
Maybe
I think he,
I haven't seen him in a while. I mean,
I,
compared to Rocky, I would say he's not bone dry because
that's
Rocky's a rock.
true. Yeah, does E.T. have glands? Weigh in. Or is he like a pig where he doesn't sweat, he doesn't have glands. Maybe E.T. should have been in a mud pit the whole time. He
And you
is
know
from,
what?
I think,
They
a
didn't
very
try that.
green, humid planet. So he might not have glands.
Oh,
He
good
might
point.
he might rely entirely on external forces to moisturize him, and maybe that's why he was dying. This isn't about ET. This is about Rocky, who is my best friend and your best friend and kind of everyone's best friend. He's just like the best friend a person could have.
Yeah, he can make metal things and also glass things? Question
I
mark.
I how does he do the glass?
I don't know.
It doesn't say in the book.
Um, if it did say, that's like certainly something that wouldn't have stuck with me.
Okay. I just like I think there was like a brief there was like a moment early on before he starts speaking where my aversion to space stuff was kind of coming up just visually with space stuff. I think sometimes I have a hard time orienting myself like in the space where it's
Yeah.
like I don't know what's what and which direction we're looking and what touches what, or like I don't know, maybe because everything's anti-gravity. But in his cave when he is first meeting Rocky, and also I was like, why the fuck is this glass here? Is he stuck? Is he trapped? What's happening? Um, but then that went away, and I was like, okay, never mind. My walls are
Okay, I like
down.
it.
My walls are down. I like this.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's funny when I was reading the book, in the beginning of the book, I wonder if I can see it here. But you'd have to be watching the video. This is a great reason to subscribe to our YouTube. In the book, there's all these like diagrams
Oh,
of what the spaceship looks like and what the centrifuge, because they refer to it a bunch and how it works. And
yeah. I did not know what that meant.
I kept having to go back and be like, wait, what? Where is he? And like, yeah, the way he moves through the space in the book, you kind of, it helped me to have those diagrams because I just was having trouble visualizing, yeah, what the inside of a spaceship structurally, like how the
Yeah.
rooms connect to each other and stuff.
I did think they did a good job of like making it so that anybody watching this could understand like what the issue is and what the plan to fix it is. Because often with like super sciency stuff, you're just kind of like, it's like when you're watching industry and you're like, I don't know what they're saying, but like I'm picking up if it's good or bad based on their tone and faces. But with this, it was very sort of simple and understandable for the common person, aka me and you.
Yeah, I think that is part of the gift that the screenwriter has, Drew Goddard, um, because he is the one who adapted The Martian as well.
Which
And I
I also have
think
not seen.
The Martian has like it's similar in that like it's not like the problem is that hard to
Mm.
understand, but it is sciency. And I have to imagine the book was way more, similar to this movie. The book has more detail into like the science that actually solves some of these problems. But he seems to have a really good skill and I think a really great relationship to Andy Weir, where he's able to like translate the concepts from the book into their like most core one sentence
Yeah.
explanations that people will need to understand. And then, like I think visually, probably there's some science stuff that's happening on the screen that like satisfies the people who know more about it. But that's just a guess. I suppose I don't really know. But it's cool. It's like a really special skill. And I think Drew Goddard, I want to say that he like worked on Lost. He worked on like a lot of like some of the really good like exciting shows of the last
Yeah.
20 years.
That makes sense.
Yeah. And you know, in the book, there, it's like I had a few people ask me over the weekend, like, "Oh, is there anything you're mad like didn't make it in or something?" And I truly am like, no, like the things that are cut out genuinely are like there's like more problems that come up, but it is like 10 pages of people doing experiments. Like the stuff toward the end of the movie when they get the amoeba that can kill
Mm.
the dots, and the process of getting that amoeba to be nitrogen resistant is like 15 pages of
Okay.
like doing experiments,
Right.
and you think Rocky's dead, and you're so it's just like just kind of letting your eyes graze over all of it, but not really not really too focused on the math. I think the only thing, if I may do a book corner, the only thing that I missed from the book is that the two people on the crew that are dead, you you, you learn a lot more about them in the book,
Okay.
like in the flashbacks, and so
Yeah.
so that it hits you a lot harder as it goes on that these people died. Like, and what they also do, there's like two concepts that are explained in the book that I think would have maybe been slightly helpful in the movie, but I don't think make or break. It's just like if you're someone whose brain went to these places, this stuff does get covered in the book. One is that the coma, being put in a coma, it's like 1 out of every 7,000 people has the gene where they can survive that.
Oh.
And so part of what makes Grace able to go on the trip is that they tested him for the gene too, because they just tested everybody on Project Hail
Mm.
Mary. But so like, and even if you have the gene, it's not guaranteed you survive it. It's just that you could possibly survive a long-term coma, induced coma.
So the other
Um,
people just died from being in the coma.
yes.
Okay.
Um, and then the other thing that gets covered in the book is like something about the faster you're moving, the slower you experience time. So that is why Ryan Gosling doesn't age the way everybody else is aging through the story.
Okay.
Um, but that, like I think it didn't even occur to me when I was watching the movie. Like I didn't think about that, but I heard people talking about it and I was like, oh yeah, I guess it would have helped if one person said one line that covered that.
Yeah, because I was wondering, like, did those people die of something specific or like
Yeah.
what? But and then with him, I was just kind of like, Ryan Gosling could look 35. He could look 45. So I'll just assume he was like 35 in the beginning and 45 at the end.
Yeah, he could really be anything. The filler is really doing its job. It looks great.
It's amazing how it didn't move in space. It didn't migrate at all. Just stayed right.
Does that happen? I wonder.
I mean,
Never thought about what filler does in
it does.
space.
I mean, it does it on Earth, so I assume it would do it in space.
Oh my
It just
god.
kind of drops,
Yeah.
but it stayed right where he put it.
Yeah, very perky face he's got. Looks great. Keep it up.
I liked his slutty little glasses.
I thought that, I've heard a lot of criticism of the glasses acting,
I liked
and
it. I
I loved it.
Because I think like there was something about this script that was definitely there are things, the vibe, the tone can get very sort of corny, goofy.
Mhm.
And I think that he did that so well.
Yes,
Where like he did it
absolutely.
earnestly, but also did lean into it. He wasn't like taking these kind of corny lines and trying to make them not corny. Like this movie in many ways like did feel like a, I don't know, I don't say this as a negative. I say this as a positive. It feels like it could have been like a early 2000s like Disney movie.
Yeah, I think 100%. And I don't think Lord and Miller have directed a movie in a long time. Like maybe over 10 years or something. But like it reminded me of like how you're supposed to feel at the Lego movie or
Yeah.
something, which is great, I think.
It's like it's like, there's one line that specifically I feel like Ryan Gosling's acting like stuck out to me as very charming, where like when Rocky first comes onto the ship and he's like, gonna go find my bedroom, and then Ryan Gosling is like, your bedroom, oh boy, and it's almost like 90s sitcom, but he is just doing it with like such gusto that it really worked for me.
Yeah, the everything about how he physically embodied that character felt very lived in, which is why I liked the glasses acting. People were saying like, "Oh, a glasses wearer wouldn't do that, wouldn't like pull them, hang them on his chin or whatever." I do
Don't
that.
care.
I have glasses and I do that. I don't like having shit on my
You
face.
felt represented.
So I was like, I do that all the time. And cleaning it with his shirt, I thought
Mm-hmm.
also, I was like, yeah, that's I and doing that while in conversation, I think makes for like a really human lived in acting. I really like it. One time I watched one of those like actor roundtables last year during the Oscar run up, and Kieran Culkin said that a piece of acting advice he got one time is that if he's not sure what to do during a line, to act like you're like cleaning something off your shirt while you're saying it. And I see him do it a lot. And it does like make it kind of just like, oh, I'm just existing and I'm talking to you,
Yeah.
and I just I don't know. I like that kind of choice in acting
Yeah,
choices, I
because
guess.
also it's like maybe in a real conversation you would just be standing there. But in a movie, sometimes you need to do more than maybe you would be normal style. Just in the way that like you're wearing more makeup for a camera because
Yeah.
like then the makeup that would look insane in person looks good and normal on camera, right? It's like,
People have
yeah, I
ticks.
yeah, it's like I want to see this guy doing stuff with his hands because I'm sitting there watching this thing. So like sorry to the glasses community that you don't feel represented, but I feel like maybe you're being boring with your glasses. Sorry. Maybe you should be doing more with your glasses.
Well, it's just clearly that he doesn't need them all the time. And that's what the situation is with mine. I don't
Yeah.
actually need them all the time. I'm supposed to wear them at the movies and like when I'm looking at something far away. But, a lot of times I put them on and I'm like, yeah, I just wanted to take these off.
I had a glasses prescription very briefly, but not anymore. It was
Interesting. You're cured.
it was a mistake. I beat the needing glasses allegations at the DMV. I beat them.
That sounds true. Yeah, I don't think we need to hear from any doctors in the comments about this.
um I thought that Sandra Hüller Hüller incredible
I
casting
love
choice.
I loved her.
Incredible. Like to get that just like serious of an actor, like she has such like gravitas.
Yes.
Incredible choice.
And because her gravitas is what makes it believable that this woman would be put in charge of this
Yes.
situation. Like I saw a comment on Reddit that was like, that obviously was like written by the horniest man alive, but was like, oh, when I was reading it, I kind of pictured like Anya Taylor-Joy or someone hot like that. And it was like, you think it
Fucking grip.
you think a 27-year-old would be put in charge of
Also,
saving the fucking world?
guess what? She was hot in this.
She was hot in this. Also, she's like the same age as Ryan Gosling.
Yes, literally.
It's
She's
age
2 years older
appropriate.
than him.
And I thought their chemistry together, because like in the book, it's also there's like clear sexual
Yeah.
chemistry between them. And same as in the movie, right? Nothing ever happens, but you really like it makes those scenes propulsive to be reading. And it was the same on screen. Like I really felt like you could feel the like intrigue that they had with each
Oh
other.
yeah, I was so sure that they were gonna fuck after karaoke.
Yeah. There's also more fucking in the book.
Oh, is there?
Yes,
Who
the like
fucks in the book?
it's the people who are fucking in the like cruise,
Okay.
but it's a bigger issue
Oh.
because they are the science officer for the main crew and the backup crew, and like there's some yada yada. They're not supposed to be in the same space because like this is humanity's last chance, so like
Mm.
we can't run the risk of
Like
them.
designated survivor
Yes.
vibes.
Um, but there's just it comes up a lot more. But this is obviously family friendly. This movie is like,
Yeah.
so it's fine.
But no, there was such heavy chemistry between them.
Yeah, and it was really watchable.
But then it's also like because of how good of an actor she is, it is extremely believable that like even though she's like kind of like, okay, this guy's cute, like she would turn around and be like, no, sorry, you have to go die. You have to. And you
Yeah.
don't have a choice. Like very believable with her.
Yes. Absolutely. And what do we think about his relationship to like bravery? Is he a coward or is he not? What are your thoughts, Emily?
I mean, I guess on paper, it's like, yeah, if you're going to save humanity, like, you should sacrifice yourself or whatever. But then I think that, like, you do understand why he's like, no, thank you. Because it's so, the odds of it even working are so slim.
Yeah.
And it's not like, okay, here's a deal. It's like, you die, world gets saved. It's like, 95% chance it seems like you die, nothing happens. Maybe 99%. But then even that 1%, it's not like a quick death trade off, everyone lives. It's like going into deep space is horrific.
Yes, desolate and horrible.
Like it's just the worst thing the human mind can imagine, almost.
Yes.
And it's I can kind of see it how he's just like, okay, yeah, find someone else. Sorry, set it back a few months. Find someone
Yeah.
else.
Yeah. I think that his choice to say no when asked to do this is like is him not being brave, but I thought a lot about it over the weekend. I didn't really think about it at all when I read the book, but online chatter kind of just like makes you start reframing everything. And I don't think that I don't think he's cowardly. I don't think there is cowardice in not sacrificing yourself. Like you cannot be brave, but I don't think that's the same as not being
Mm,
as being cowardly, you know what I mean? Um but I I thought that it made it all more believable and like made him more lovable and relatable
yeah.
to have him say no to this opportunity,
Mm-hmm.
be forced into it anyway, and then only find a path to make the brave choice once he felt connection. Like he had
Yeah.
no connection on Earth really at all.
Right. Yeah, but it shows that's what's like that is it. Him saying no does create that very beautiful little parallel later on. Like it sets that whole thing up where it's like he, yeah, it's like he can theoretically maybe like save the world, but what really inspires bravery is like saving this one best friend. And then
Yeah.
him ending up with the rocks in the end, it's like, because I was so happy that he just ended up like living there. I did not want
Yeah.
him to go back to Earth because you're also like, okay, on
Earth seems
Earth,
to have gone into an ice age still.
yes, Earth seems awful. But it's also like on Earth, he had no real relationships, and someone was willing to sacrifice his life against his will to save others. Whereas then he meets Rocky, who was willing to sacrifice himself to
Yeah.
save him. And so then in turn he's willing to like it's mutual sacrifice because they love each other versus just like this sense of like duty and like this is what you should do.
Yeah, and that both versions of bravery are like valid, but one is certainly more like unanimously relatable. The idea that
Yeah.
like you need to feel like feeling connection is what gives you the capacity to be brave. And that character got like a journey, got an arc where he wasn't brave at first and was, wanted to stay a loser or not, he wasn't a loser, but he did call himself that. But he had a job. Um you could do a lot worse on Tinder. But I think it's so, and like this is the stuff that I think tone is, I just can't emphasize enough how I think tone is like the hardest fucking thing to nail, especially with something that's funny and uplifting and exciting, like, and it's amazing that this movie was able to capture that tone where the stakes felt really real and it felt really scary at some points. And yet at the end, you're like, oh yeah, like love and connection is all anyone needs to rise to be their best selves. It's like very sweet. Collaboration is the cure for existential dread, is a note I wrote down. Because that's like, I don't know. It really, it's really amazing and beautiful. And, we all need a Rocky in our lives.
I know, because it's also like every connection we did watch him make on Earth, ultimately, they were absolutely willing to send him off to die. Like, he became buddies with Carl.
Carl.
And
Okay, but I think those people all believed in him so strongly. I mean, those people were all
yeah.
doing the same job, but the last thing he heard on Earth was Carl saying, "You know who you are."
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, too, I think that they also made it so it's like like Sandra Hüller and them, all of them, you also understand where they're coming from. Where it's like
Totally.
she's literally like, I need to save Earth. I need to
Yeah.
literally save humanity, and this guy is being a baby about it. I sorry, this is gonna hurt, but you gotta do this. Like
Yeah.
you do also understand where she's coming from.
Yeah. Totally. And she's right. She was
Right.
right.
It's like she's not wrong, but it's just like because you like this guy, you're like, no. But then you're like, yeah.
His relationship with Carl and that whole montage in the beginning is so fun.
So cute. Like him and Rocky are just like equally cute. They're cute. They're both cute maxing. And so then when they meet, it's just like it's magic. They love each other so much, and I I liked that it's also like, you know, a different version of the story. It could be like Ryan Gosling being like a grumpy Gus
Yeah.
and he has to break through, but they're both like sweet, goofy guys and really primed for codependency, which is incredible. I
Which is healthy and good.
I think I would be so happy as a codependent rock in a codependent rock society. I think that seems wonderful. I thought that uh Rocky was Matt and Grace was Jay.
Nirvana the band.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that. I think that's true.
Yeah.
I like how smart Rocky is.
Yeah.
You know what's something that I think is really funny in this movie? What's not in the book is that like that room that has the screens all over the
Mm.
sides. The don't go insane.
Yeah.
Here's what's nice about Earth room. Do you know what the volume is?
No.
Okay, the volume is the like screen sound massive screen sound stage that they shoot all the Marvel movies on and Star Wars and like all
Okay.
that shit. I have no evidence of this, but I truly believe it's like some kind of inside joke that they gave them a volume in the ship in the movie but didn't shoot at the volume. This movie is the exact kind of movie that would have been shot on the volume.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's very funny to have one in the ship for them that is like a core part of the story and the friendship.
Yeah. They have so much fun in there.
Oh my god, the little party hat.
Oh
And
my
he like
God.
and his party outfit for
So
celebration.
very handsome. Yeah, when he like lifts himself up to meet the party hat.
It's so
I mean,
sweet.
when he's just like, I'm gonna watch you sleep, and then he's just on top of him, I'm like, that's so cute. It was all so cute.
Yeah, when he's like, "Are you normally this close?" and he's like, "No, closer."
I feel like I was getting like cuteness aggression
Yeah,
watching
big
this
time.
movie where I was just like,
Um, the I really want you to experience the book. Maybe I recommend it because I think he you get a lot more of his cute lines in the book.
okay. I loved the
Maybe
voice though too. I loved his voice.
you might like the
Saying the
audiobook.
cute lines. Maybe, yeah.
I will say I've not listened to the audiobook, but from what I understand, the audiobook is like one of the most renowned, like highly rated audiobooks. Like people frequently cite this one as like one of
Wow.
the most fun ones.
I'm not a big audiobook person, but maybe that would get me into it.
But you get to hear Rocky's voice, and Rocky, like, there's a really funny line in the book that comes up a bunch of times that is kind of in the movie, but it's sort of, I can't remember where it is. I think it's in the sequence, the like roommates sequence as he's like trying to put together the big glass panels for
Mhm.
him. Um, where Rocky says something like, you are stupid when last sleep question. And like and there's like a running gag of him pointing out when Grace is stupid and then asks when he slept because he has learned that humans are stupid if they don't sleep.
Aw.
And it's really funny. But the line I want to say things in two different directions. So here let me number them. Number 1, the line that killed me with Rocky in the movie was Grace Rocky save stars coming up on the screen. I was sobbing. That line is just so like simple and for some reason like that's what demolished me. Um the other thing I want to say is that during the sequence where they're testing out the different voices,
Mm.
the audiobook reader is one of the voices, which is just like a cute little
Oh,
Easter egg because he's
cute.
like beloved for doing this
That's
voice.
cute.
Yeah, and that was really Meryl Streep, which I think we all know.
Yeah, I was like, assume they could get Meryl Streep for this.
But Andy Weir is like in interviews is like, we got Meryl Streep. Like he's like really impressed. He seems like the sweetest man alive.
I I think the hardest I laughed, I just thought it was so cute and funny was when it was going between the building him the glass room scene and Ryan Gosling doing the little logs and him being like
Yeah.
annoyed with him. And he's just always
Yeah.
like, do this, you're doing it wrong. Why are you doing this?
Yeah, that whole like roommates like real world confessional kind of thing was very
So,
funny.
so fun. I just like, I think that the character of Rocky, he's so cute, but he's so cute because he has a real joie de vie about him that really translates. And he just is like rolling around. He's having a fun time.
It's true. I think it's true.
He's like, new friend.
I I think that the way Rocky's personality is like very smart but very youthful. It's very like young feeling.
Mm,
So it almost feels like a baby or like a little kid, but
yeah.
he's like, maybe it doesn't come up as much in the movie, but in the book it's like clear over and over and over that Rocky is much smarter than Grace.
Mm,
Um
interesting.
and and he really reminds me of a cat. There was something about that scene where he's like rolling with the ball when he first comes in. It reminds me of like when a cat is like has zoomies and is enjoying knocking everything off of something.
Yeah.
And they're running around going, dirty, dirty. Is this room for garbage? It's like so
There
good.
it's definitely cat like the just having an agenda
Yeah.
and no worry. Cats are never worried about if they're allowed to do something. Like the way cats will just be on every surface available to them. And they're just busy little guys just running around doing their thing and you can be like, "Please don't do that." And they'll just look at you and go, and then they'll keep doing it because they're like, "What are you going to
Yeah.
do?" They know you're not going to do anything about it.
Yeah. And that's even kind of making me think about Rocky's like body language, like when Grace says something and the like middle part of his body kind of tilts like he's listening, like a cat listening to you talk.
I also laughed at the him saying the way he eats is disgusting and then he dips his arm in the goo and just
It just shoves it in
sticks
his
it into.
hole. Um yeah, and so I think it's amazing that the puppeteer I not to brag, but this morning I cried at a TikTok because it was I I was like watching interviews of the puppeteer. So like for people who don't know, the puppeteer's name is James Ortiz. He was hired to like run the puppetry of Rocky. He had a team of like 5 or 6, I think, other puppeteers. It took like 5 people to do Rocky
It
because
was so impressive how smooth it was.
yes, and how he just had the same kind. He had movements that he repeated that felt like, yeah, this is a guy, this is a creature,
Mm.
and he has his like quirks and his personality. Um, and this puppeteer who is has done a lot of like he's a big theater person. He's done a lot of like puppets for like Little Shop of Horrors or In the Woods. Like he's done, and he's like really well respected, but he's never done a movie quite like this before. And so he was doing the Rocky voice with Ryan Gosling on the set just to help Ryan Gosling have something to act to and to make he said in interviews to make Ryan Gosling feel like he wasn't alone. And they were planning on like hiring a famous person to be the voice and they ended up using James Ortiz the puppeteer his voice as Rocky's voice, but like captured on set. So like they didn't even really ADR that
Really?
much.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
amazing.
And so it's like mostly what was said on set and like the improvisation. Am I okay? The improvisations that they did. Um, and I just think that's so amazing. And what made me cry is he also was really involved. He didn't design, so the designer was named, I think, Neil Scanlon, who does like creature design for Star Wars and like that, you know, that type of stuff. He's done creature design since Little Shop of Horrors, the movie in 1986. So
Whoa.
this guy is like the creature design person.
Yeah.
But James Ortiz goes, works with him on the creature design for Rocky. James Ortiz is a puppet like designer and maker for stuff, so he knows how, like what to ask for, and they work together to get this made. Um, and I just think it's so amazing that he got to do this. And then this morning I saw a TikTok where a man was just making his own Rocky marionette, and I I've got a puppet sweatshirt on right now. I have been enthusiastic about puppetry and like that art form for so long. And I just started crying thinking about like how this is beyond his wildest dreams of like the effect that his I'm gonna cry saying this now. That like this is beyond what he probably could have imagined for like how far reaching his work could have been. There's so few famous puppets. It's like Elmo's covered. So like I don't know who else you're making that will inspire this many people. But this man, this random guy on TikTok, like made a little Rocky marionette and then in the caption said, James Ortiz reached out to me and told me to post this like tutorial on how to make one if you want to make one. And I was like, this is so special.
Like, are you
That
gonna
he
make a Rocky?
I probably won't make a Rocky. I love that people do it. I just don't like to own stuff. I'm not like a merch person necessarily. So probably not. Although maybe. I saw that you can on the Project Hail Mary website, they have a like 3D print I don't know like file. I don't know what it's called when you the thing you put into the program to 3D print something
Oh.
that's of Grace, the little
That he
thing that
makes
Rocky
him?
makes. Yeah.
I was thinking that's the only thing I would want. Because I'm like, Rocky, again, as just an object, is not cute. He's
Sure.
cute in motion, in
Yeah.
action. But that little thing, I'm like, that's like a chic little thing,
Yeah, it's cute.
you
It could
know?
be a cute little she keeps it in the end and puts it on her
Yeah.
computer.
I I loved I really loved the voice. Like I was thinking how much I
Yeah.
loved the voice. So that's amazing that that wasn't even the plan.
No, not at
Cuz
all.
it
And
was like perfect in that it was so cute, but it wasn't like too baby. Like you
yeah,
still can see them as peers
totally.
because like if you were stuck with nobody to talk to but let's say ET for like ever, you just would kill yourself anyways, you know?
Yeah.
Because he's not fun to he doesn't have like you know what, that's
He
not
can't
fair.
do
No
he can't
nobody
he
nobody figured out how to talk to ET. Look, I don't know. I don't know why I'm
you
being so mean about ET,
you
but
can't do witty repartee with
yeah.
ET. It's true.
This guy is like a peer.
Yeah.
They're
He's got an
peers.
opinions, he's got a sensibility,
They're
he's got a little
colleagues.
attitude.
I like that he's like judgmental, but in a way where it's like with so much love, like it's very like sibling like.
Yeah. Yeah, and he's so impatient. I think the impatience is very funny.
Yeah, that's kind of cat like too.
Yeah. Yeah, big time.
But he's just like such a good little character.
Yeah. Yeah, and he's going to be hard to top. And I wonder if this movie will make it all the way to awards conversations this time next year.
I I feel like it should, at least for like production design.
Yeah, production designer, even special effects. I mean, like
I
the
always
effects are
wondered.
practical, but they are special.
I was actually thinking of that this morning. I Special effects should of course include practical effects because that's more impressive. But does
Yeah.
it, or is it only VFX?
No, I think it does because
Okay.
things like I could be wrong, but I didn't Mad Max Fury Road won it the year it was nominated, and that is all practical, pretty much.
I don't remember. I think
I
it won
think
something, but could that have been production design?
pretty sure it's special effects. It's
Okay.
like it lost, if memory serves, it lost sound design, which everyone was like, "What?"
Yeah. It won editing?
Mm,
No, or no.
I don't think so. It didn't win much, I think. It
Okay.
like to the frustration of the people that year, although it was a busy year
I
at the
love that
Oscars.
movie.
That's like one of my favorite movies of all
It's
time.
so good. Um the clothes were also, everyone's talking about the clothes. Ryan Gosling's. Uh Everyone wants the cardigan.
The cardigan is funny. Did you see the like backstory of the cardigan?
No.
It's like a famous old cardigan, but the it's like a wolf that looks kind of mean. And so Ryan Gosling was like, "Oh, they weren't even going to use that, but it was like in the costume studio." And he was like, "I think that's really great." And he's like, "But the wolf is kind of too scary. Can we make it like an urban fox like in London because they shot in London
Uh,
and I guess in London they have this like fox population and he was like is there a way to make it look like more like that and so they redid the sweater but instead of the eyes were kind of mean looking
yeah.
on the sweater and so they redid the eyes to make them more cartoony and like big and sweet and then made the mouth less like snarling and more just like ooh I'm a little
That's
fox.
cute.
um
I loved that he was wearing a Cats the musical t-shirt in one brief scene.
oh, I didn't notice that.
Because it was all like science puns or whatever, and then he's wearing
Yeah,
like a vintage Cats t-shirt in one scene.
that's really funny. And then isn't there one where it's like I am enough or something is like a cat on the Golden Gate Bridge or something?
I don't remember that one.
I feel like it's the one he kind of like tried to hide when the crew gets onto the like job site of the Project Hail Mary.
Oh. Okay. Yeah. I saw that I didn't notice this while watching, but I guess the all the space scenes were shot like full IMAX screen, and then all of the Earth scenes were shot like standard
Yeah.
ratio,
Yeah,
which
that's
is
cool.
cool because I mean the space scenes looked great.
It looked really beautiful. And I think that I saw some guy who does like now listen, I don't even know what the right word is or how this works, but space photography. Um like some sort of interstellar photography and his photos were used as some of the like whatever spaces
Yeah.
for. I loved the Adrian planet, the green. It almost looked
Mm-hmm.
like malachite kind of.
Yeah, that
I
was like
just
very beautiful, and then there were a lot of moments because I feel like it's not, you don't need to really hammer home in a movie about space like how terrifying and lonely the
yeah.
endlessness of space is. I think
Yeah.
that's something you can kind of take for granted, and you just need to have little reminders of that. And then there were just moments where Ryan Gosling would be like looking out or down, and it's like you are like, oh yeah, that's so scary that if you got detached from this ship, you would just float forever until you died.
And his horror reaction to a lot of it. And his man, that like first few sequences of him you know, being clumsy and like running around this spaceship and then floating and like being bad at having being in no gravity. I was like I was like this is like a Charlie Chaplin performance. It's really good. I am really so I think I've always liked Ryan Gosling. I've never thought too hard about him, really. But he just is he's almost in a like where would I place him? Like who what other celebrity is he like? I just feel like he's like the movie star that
Yeah.
can kind of do any of these like funny or serious or maybe almost like Brad Pitt-ish, but I feel like there's some fundamental difference about the roles Brad Pitt has
Mm.
gotten in this era that this like similar era of his career, but I feel like he could do any of those roles. Like,
Totally. He can and he has and he's good in
yeah.
every single thing he does.
Yeah, and he's really like he can really turn up the charm. He can really turn up the mystery if he wants.
Mhm.
It's really cool.
Like Blue Valentine and this. You know,
Yeah,
could not be
crazy. That's the
more
same person.
opposite movie.
Insane. Insane and kind of scary.
But
Now,
it's hard. He's the only human for most of his scenes. Like that's a hard thing to do. And he did such a good job.
yeah, and he was from what I understand, he was like instrumental in make getting this movie made. He had the unpublished manuscript of Project Hail Mary sent to
Oh
him.
wow.
So he like acquired the rights before it was even out.
Crazy.
And I just I'm so happy he did. Thank you, Ryan. If you
It's
see this, we'd like to say thank you.
yeah, this just feels like I mean, just insane crowd pleaser. A movie
Yeah.
for everyone that
Yeah.
everyone can enjoy and like, but it's also like it is really good. And I feel like there are people who are like, it's too optimistic or and it's like, okay, yeah, some movies are dark. Some movies are like nice and maybe a little corny. That's okay. Both of those can exist.
Totally. But I will also say, like, I'm usually that person, and I still think that this threaded the needle very well
Yeah, me
of
too.
being like optimistic in a way that still felt realistic. And, I think one thing that Andy Weir has been saying in interviews in this press run is like that he considers himself a little bit Pollyanna about human nature and
Hmm.
that he cares about putting that into the world that like bad things happen, there are bad people, but overall humanity and human beings want to do good things and the right things and they do care. Like most people do care about other people at a baseline.
Maybe why this worked for me, even though I am also usually that
Yeah.
person, is because this movie I guess I didn't feel like we had to reckon with them pushing any sort of message of like
Yeah.
humanity is actually good because it's not this movie doesn't really say humanity's good. It's like no, like um this one guy is good and this rock is good and
Yeah.
friendship is beautiful.
Yeah, and I think that it is still saying the humanity thing, but it is making it more believable by shrinking the story to be the story of this man and this rock
Yeah, and their
and how
friendship
they helped
is
each other.
just so beautiful where it's like out in the most desolate part of the universe, they both found their platonic soulmate.
Yeah.
You're doing the loneliest thing imaginable, the most alone a person could ever possibly be, and then you're going to find a beautiful connection with your best friend and the closest person you've ever been to in your life.
It's nice.
It's
It's pretty
really
nice.
nice. And
I mean,
mm,
I just finished that book called Rejection by Tony
I read that.
Tilamute. And it's a book about loneliness, right? And it is
Mhm.
like coming from a quite cynical perspective. It's like really dark. And it's funny to I finished that this week, and then I saw this movie, and I was like thinking about how they're both about loneliness, and but one just has a different. I just think like both versions of exploring that topic are valid and good.
Yeah,
Like
because
I think this is
rejection
great
is
too.
about how loneliness uh, makes you essentially turn into some weird, twisted, you know,
Yeah, and how it
version of
feeds
a human.
itself
Yeah.
in your brain and how the internet calcifies it further.
Hmm.
And this was the opposite. This was like loneliness can make you not brave and not motivated to do the things that you know are right and not motivated to do anything really
Hmm.
unless you are compelled. But once you find connection, like all that strength is in you. And it managed to tell that story in a way that felt light and fun and playful and never felt like I was being preached to and just sort of carried me through a lovely time.
Yeah, it's like I have tentative plans to see it again tonight in Dolby.
I hope you do.
And the reason I want to see it again is just because I'm like, I want to see them be cute again. I just want to see them be a cute time together again.
I'd love to know what hits you hard after
My
having already
second,
see it.
yeah.
Because different things hit me harder the second time sawing. What the hell? The second time seeing it. Okay, I do have a question for
Yes.
you, non-book reader, from me, book reader.
Mm-hmm.
As we went through the movie and you were experiencing like the flashbacks and then you'd cut back to space, was that clearly him remembering that flashback to you, or was that just like storytelling to you?
I feel like there were just a couple moments that made me think, okay, he's remembering.
Yeah.
And so then I kind of was like, okay, think it's that. But then there would be moments where it wasn't clear. So then I would forget that I thought that.
Yeah.
I think it was most clear to me when he's in Rocky's ship and like here's the beautiful sound of the strings.
Yeah.
And then there's the memory of
Being kidnapped.
yes, like that unlocked that. I think that's when I was like,
Yeah.
okay, these definitely were flashbacks. In the book, are
Yeah.
they definitely flashbacks?
Yes. So the book is completely in you're in his POV. You're reading
Okay.
his mind and his thoughts. And so like part of the comedy is like the chapter that immediately follows him remembering that is what happened. Like the so you like you go to the next chapter, it's a flashback and you're reading the whole thing of him getting kidnapped by the government, and then you go to the next chapter and the first lines are like what the fuck, and he's like mad, you know
Okay.
what I mean, and
Yeah,
you're
yeah, yeah.
experiencing his feelings about it. And it was the only thing I kind of like wished I felt more in the movie, and I understand what the movie has a lot in it. So like I really am not advocating for anything else to have been added. But I did wish it had that feeling a little stronger because I thought the amnesia and then slow memory stuff was like a good avenue for some of the comedy of the story too.
Yeah, totally. I feel like that's a a classic in first person books is like
Yeah.
I read, a lot of thrillers and
Yeah.
that it's yeah, that's a good way to reveal information slowly.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's really it I mean it they do it well in the beginning when he's like when you wake up with him on the ship and it's like he's writing on the whiteboard like always muscles question mark
Yeah.
stuff like that. But yeah, it gets a little looser in the middle and I understand why, but I did kind of miss it. That's like maybe the only thing. It's like that and the people on the crew you kind of miss.
Loved the karaoke scene.
Yeah. I think I think I do wish if you have Ken Long in a movie that you let him be funny a little bit more than
Yeah.
they did with
He
this because he's
didn't
like
he didn't do
so funny.
much.
No, he just had his accent.
I was
They gave
also
him the little
I don't
accent.
know why I was like surprised when I was like, "Oh, he's from China in this." Okay. I've just been watching a lot of Industry, you know.
Yeah, and yeah, I also felt a little like, oh right, we made him do it. I think I just,
I
you
just was
know,
expecting a different voice. I was just expecting his Industry normal voice.
yeah, and I also was.
Have you seen on have you seen on Twitter? There's that one because like there's a picture of him from like maybe like a GIF of him from Industry, and
Hmm.
somebody was like who doesn't watch Industry or know who he is was like looking for it, and they tweeted and they were like, I was looking for this GIF, and they typed in like strict Obama, strict Chinese Obama or something, and it
That's
came up.
funny. I guess I can kind of see it.
Um, but I yeah, I it would have been kind of nice to get to I guess they were I guess they were kind of trying to fast track that by having him looking through like their photos, right?
Yeah, definitely. And that's what hit me really hard the second
Mm.
viewing. For some reason, that funeral, I was like, oh my God, it's so sad. Um,
I it hit me hard, and I think I didn't actually cry, but I feel like the moments I might have cried at. Like when
yeah.
he goes back for Rocky and then Rocky doesn't show up for a while and then like he comes and he's like he can't talk cuz they don't have the computer, but you can tell he's like you came back for me.
Yeah.
And they built him a whole biodome.
Yeah, and Rocky's little suit. I'm sad we didn't get to meet Rocky's mate.
I know. I wanted to see Adrian.
Yeah, I want to know all about her.
But I guess it's just like I really liked that there was like the exact ending you wanted to happen. Just cuz I feel like a lot of times in movies like there it needs to be like bittersweet,
Yeah,
and
not
this
here.
not even a little bit. Like there's not even a small part of you that wants him to go back to Earth.
No,
Not even a teeny tiny bit. And it's just like and then the baby rocks.
it's very sweet.
The
I love
baby
it.
rocks jumping around.
They love learning science.
So happy. There's such baby rocks.
Yeah, 10 out of 10. Recommend. I
Because
recommend.
nothing makes me sadder than like the idea of like goodbyes between people who are close. Like the first movie that made me like absolutely sob was The Muppets Take Manhattan, another puppet movie,
Okay.
because there's one part where they all like are going their separate ways. They're breaking up and there's a song and they all just like go their separate ways to like live their own non-Muppet lives. And it destroys me. So then the idea of like when they were saying goodbye and it's like, oh my God, you love each other so much, but you're never going to see each other again. Devastating.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I just didn't want that to be the case.
Yeah, I'm glad they ended up together.
I'm so glad. And he has a lovely little biodome.
Yeah, I think it's perfect.
I
I
just
would
wish
live
they were
there.
able to do skin to skin hugs. But,
Yeah, but he
you
doesn't
know,
seem to need that.
yeah.
Some people don't need it.
Yeah, that's true. I
I
just
like that
wish
he doesn't need a romantic. I don't know. It's just so rare for
I
like a
just kind
story to
of
be told about a
wish
man.
that he could become a rock so that he maybe like could have like a mate and a family on the rock planet. But yeah, he seems fine with it.
Yeah, he seems
He
very
really
happy.
does.
He's fulfilled by teaching.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, the only thing he's not getting is like sex because he has this platonic soulmate
Yeah.
in Rocky, and so he can just like take care of that himself and then have his best friend.
Yeah, and he's good to go. Life is
Yeah.
perfect. Okay, any final thoughts about our lovely
Hmm.
boys?
I feel like probably yes, but I can't think of anything right now.
I
But
think we covered it pretty well.
it was just really good and sweet and cute. And
And worth supporting in theaters, I
yeah,
think.
oh, absolutely. Like this
Yeah.
is a big screen movie if I've ever seen one.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
like I liked also that he gets the happy ending we want, but he also did get that stuff back to Earth.
Yeah, it's truly the happy ending everybody
Yeah.
wants.
It's like, okay, they made them both work.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the best case scenario. It does seem like Earth tipped a little bit into the ice age, but hopefully they can reverse it.
The timing was interesting because you're like, oh my god, this is such a long con, long game, long end game. Whatever,
Oh,
you know
yeah,
what I
yeah.
mean.
Like
Just where it's like,
I was like, who's conning? What's the con? Yeah,
just
yeah. Like
you
the
know,
plan takes so long
so
for
long,
it to
like
work on
11
Earth.
years to get there. Then he has to do whatever, and then this stuff has to get back,
Yeah.
and then they have to figure out how to get it to Venus, and then it takes things a long time to get to Venus, I assume.
Yeah, and then I don't know how long it would take for the amoeba to spread across
It's
the
pretty,
entire Petrova line.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, hopefully not much of Earth died.
Okay, wait, I have a question. You
Yes.
know how they make such a point of Ryan Gosling was like, I believe that there's life forms on other planets that are not water-based life forms.
Hmm.
Is Rocky supposed to not be a water-based life form? Sort of proving his thesis
Interesting. I
because
don't
he's a
actually
rock.
know the answer to that. I mean, I don't know if it is said in the book. I'm not remembering. But maybe cuz he seems to eat other rocks.
Yeah. So
Like,
I was like, is Rocky his best friend also proving his hypothesis that he got,
wow.
you know, yelled at for?
Wow. Yeah, maybe. I simply
Um,
didn't even think of that.
I don't know. I just yeah, but yeah, I just want to see it again so that I can like hang out with
The
my friends.
boys.
The boys. I love the boys. Okay, wait, I have an update from last week actually that doesn't have to do with the movie. Can I end on an
Okay.
update? So,
Yes.
I went to the Grove again. Concession stands still down. I really wanted
Okay.
popcorn. Didn't
Okay.
get it. Um and you know, last week we were talking about how they have a busted pipe.
Hmm.
You were saying it wasn't demons, right?
Right. I was saying that.
Guess who has a busted pipe this week?
Is it you?
It's me. My neighbor's shower is sending a waterfall into my bathroom every time they turn it on. Busted pipe, supposed to get fixed tomorrow. I think it's the demons mocking us for not believing in them. I just wanted to say that.
I don't know. Wouldn't I have gotten the busted pipe? Because I was the one mocking?
Maybe. I'll ask the guys tomorrow if they see demons in there when they open it up.
Right. Perfect.
And then we'll know for sure. I'm going to be like,
Perfect.
hey,
Perfect.
hey, boys, any demons in there? So we'll see. I'll update next week with an answer.
Perfect. Perfect. The people are dying to know.
Okay. Do we know what movie we're doing next week, or is it
No, we will discuss it, and
okay?
then you'll just find out, you
Okay.
listeners.
Ooh, a surprise.
Okay, thanks for
Okay.
listening.
Bye.
Okay, that was it. That was our conversation about Project Hail Mary. I have a small favor to ask you. Please send this episode to someone that you think would enjoy it. Just hit share, send a little text. Personal recommendations are the main way anybody finds out about any new podcast. So that is my one ask to you. Please and thank you. This is just a reminder that our full episode video is available on YouTube every week, and I'd really love some feedback on my little accessory choice this week. So head on over to Medium Literate on YouTube and tell me what you think of my little accessory. And if you're listening to audio, you won't know what my little accessory was, so something to think about. You can follow us online on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and Patreon. And next week's movie is going to be Forbidden Fruits, with the possibility that we will add another movie if Forbidden Fruits doesn't yield a long enough conversation. We think it will, but just in case it doesn't, we have a backup plan. Okay. Thank you so much for listening, and see you at the movies. Medium Literate was created and produced by Monika Scott and Emily Faye. Our theme music was composed by Christian Larson, and technical help is from Alex Luchin. Thank you so much for listening, and we will see you at the movies.